Pentagon sounds the alarm, racing to double, even quadruple missile production for a looming clash with China. In Beijing, a powerful new laser weapon is unveiled, promising to rewrite the rules of naval warfare. Two superpowers locked in preparation, innovation, and mistrust. The question: how close are we to confrontation? The Pentagon is preparing for what it sees as a possible future armed clash with China by ordering a significant increase in missile and combat system production. According to a report by the Wall Street Journal, US defense officials and major contractors have been told to double, and in some cases even quadruple, their current output. The move, framed as a matter of urgency, reflects mounting anxiety in Washington over low ammunition stockpiles and the Pentagon's ability to sustain combat operations in the Asia-Pacific should tensions escalate into open conflict. The urgency of the situation has spurred the creation of a new oversight body, the Munitions Acceleration Council, led by Deputy Defense Secretary Steve Feinberg. The council, according to reports, has been holding weekly calls with executives from America's largest defense firms to fast-track progress. The Pentagon's directive is clear: output must rise by 2.5 times over the next 6, 18, and 24 months. Among the systems identified as critical are Patriot interceptors, long-range anti-ship missiles or LRASM, Standard Missile 6 or SM-6, precision strike missiles, and Joint Air-to-Surface Standoff Missiles or JASSM. The Pentagon's ambitions are bold. It wants nearly 2,000 Patriot missiles produced every year, about 4 times today's levels. Lockheed Martin has already been awarded a contract worth nearly $10 billion to manufacture Peaky-3 interceptors. While the Pentagon frames the ramp-up as a vital national security measure, it admits the risks. Accelerating defense production will require modernization of plants, expansion of supply chains, removal of bureaucratic hurdles, and, crucially, drawing resources from the private sector. Officials privately concede that logistical bottlenecks and supply chain dependencies could complicate the effort. The Pentagon's bold production surge coincides with sobering findings from defense analytics firm Govini. In a report released earlier this year, Govini warned of the United States' reliance on Chinese suppliers for critical components in defense programs. The study revealed that, in 2024, Chinese firms accounted for 9.3% of Tier 1 suppliers across 9 major US defense sectors. The reliance was particularly stark in missile defense, where 11.1% of top suppliers were Chinese, and in the nuclear sector, where the figure stood at 7.8%. Govini's analysis suggested that Chinese firms are supplying nearly 1 in 10 essential components for core US defense assets, including missile defense systems, nuclear technology, and space platforms. For policymakers in Washington, the findings underscored a troubling paradox. Even as the US prepares to counter China militarily, its defense industry remains partly tethered to Chinese supply chains. This reality has deepened calls within the Pentagon for a wholesale restructuring of supply lines. Officials acknowledge that boosting missile output to the scale envisioned will be impossible without reducing exposure to Chinese manufacturers and investing heavily in domestic capacity. To drive this shift, Feinberg's Munitions Acceleration Council has urged accelerated licensing, streamlined contracting, and an overhaul of industrial partnerships. Defense executives warn, however, that rebuilding secure supply chains is a years-long endeavor. At the same time, Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth has moved to consolidate top-level military coordination. Earlier this month, he convened hundreds of senior officers, generals and admirals of 1-star rank and above, along with their key commanders. The reasons for the high-profile gathering were not officially disclosed. According to the Washington Post, US President Donald Trump himself has expressed interest in taking part in the meeting of generals. Though details remain vague, the scale of the gathering has fueled speculation about Washington's broader war readiness posture. While Washington accelerates missile production, Beijing has been showcasing advanced military hardware of its own. Earlier this month, China unveiled a new shipborne laser system, the Liaoyuan-1 (LY-1), during its Victory Day parade in Beijing. A Chinese military journal, Ordnance Industry Science and Technology, described the LY-1 as a last line of defense against incoming missiles and drones, integrated into the wider naval air defense system alongside long-range and medium-range interceptors. The journal compared the LY-1 with the US Navy's Helios laser weapon, noting that the Chinese system appeared considerably more robust in its structure. The article highlighted the LY-1's lens aperture, reportedly nearly double the diameter of the Helios, and claimed its auxiliary equipment and sensors were far more advanced. Military experts cited in the journal estimated the LY-1's power output at between 180 and 250 kilowatts, marginally exceeding current US naval laser systems.
Not only can it intercept incoming maritime unmanned systems, but it could even be used against anti-ship missiles, with a very low per-interception cost.
The LY-1 has been presented as Beijing's answer to the US Helios, now deployed aboard the USS Preble destroyer. China has declared the system operational, though it remains unclear which vessels are currently equipped with it. However, military analysts caution against overstating its capabilities.
Though laser weapons are promising, their deployment at sea, on land, or in the air faces significant constraints. After all, the Earth's atmosphere is not a vacuum. Therefore, laser weapons cannot become the sole offensive or defensive armament. China has given this matter thorough consideration.
Zhongping emphasized that shipborne laser weapons would complement rather than replace conventional close-in weapon systems and missile interceptors. Their high operational costs and limited effectiveness against ballistic missiles mean they will coexist long-term with traditional systems. Still, China's unveiling of the LY-1 has fueled comparisons with US developments, particularly the LWSD Mark II MOD-0, tested by the US Navy aboard the USS Portland in 2020. The arms race in directed energy weapons highlights a shifting frontier in military technology, with lasers increasingly seen as an effective counter to drone swarms and low-altitude cruise missiles. For Beijing, the LY-1 carries symbolic weight as well. Its name, Liaoyuan, is derived from a Mao Zedong phrase, "A spark can start a prairie fire." The metaphor underscores China's message, that modest beginnings can quickly grow into transformative power. As the Pentagon seeks to overhaul missile production, Washington finds itself racing against time, not only to bridge the gap between stockpiles and potential wartime demand, but also to wean its defense sector off Chinese supply chains. At the same time, Beijing is signaling its own advances with new laser-based technologies designed to bolster its naval defense posture. The result is a deepening sense of inevitability. Two global powers locked in a spiraling cycle of preparation, innovation, and mistrust, each bracing for a conflict both insist they hope never comes.